there, Taurus. Welcome to your early April 2023 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. So I'm just shuffling the cards, and we will see what is going on here. You got your card. That's your card. Did you know that? That is your card, the Empress. Uh-oh. I was gonna say there's trouble in River City. When I was growing up, my father was like an old father, meaning that when I was born, he was 44 years old, which in the 60s and when I was a kid in the 70s, that was like really old. Now, it's not that, it's very, that's a yuppie thing, to have kids in your 40s. There are lots of people I see around here with gray hair, with young kids and stuff. But he would have these expressions, and sometimes I think about them, and they're like kind of old-timey expressions, and I still say them sometimes. Like, you bet your bippy. And I mean, if you're like in your 20s, you're probably like, what? What's a bippy? It's a belly button, I think. I hope. Hello. Death card. Well, how do you feel about that? Does that make you quake in your boots, or do you know what it really means, which is not what we think it means? And actually, okay, let's look at it this way. The Empress represents Taurus, and the Death card, and that was the first card I drew, and the Death card represents Scorpio, which is the last card I drew. These are opposite signs. There are still eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio in 2023. And, by the way, the one that is coming up is or you could even say like I don't know if I call it a portal, but from the lunar eclipse, which is May 5th, and that's going to be in Scorpio, going until the new moon in your sign, which is on May 19th. That's a 2-week period of time. That could be what's going on as well. So just keeping in mind all of these possibilities. So the Empress is the centerpiece. This is your card. You can see the symbol for Venus, which is a ruler of Taurus, right there. And someone told me that those little things on her dress are pomegranates. I thought they were cherries or something. But they represent fertility. And this is a card of growth, because it's number 3, which is a card of expansion. And it's a card of love, fertility, or pregnancy. It's a card of creativity, so that goes along with that. It's a card of, what's the other thing that I would describe it as? A card of abundance. Yeah, abundance. That's a good way of putting it. So this is something, okay, well, let's look at the past position to get a better grip on this. And it's in Pentacles. And Pentacles are Earth. I don't know if the 7 of Pentacles is a particular Earth sign, if it's connected to an Earth sign, but the Earth sign energy is about tangibility, about making something manifest, right? So with the 7 of Pentacles, this is like the farmer's card. Have I, is this a viable crop? I'm putting my energy into this thing. So whether it is a business, a relationship, and I just want to know, is this going to actually bear me the fruits that I'm looking for, the fruits of my labor. And it indicates that maybe you have been patient and you're looking to make something happen, but sometimes a person may be holding on too long, and certainly a fixed sign like Taurus might do that because you're wanting to have that. Well, one reason why Taurus is like that is because when you want something, you may become obsessed with it. You may, especially if you have Mars in Taurus, where it's like that bulldozer effect. You just want to, inflict, or what was the term I always use? Kind of, I'm going to say inflict, but that wasn't the word I'm thinking of. But just inflict your will on the universe, hoping that if you just persist long enough, you'll wear down any opposition to whatever it is that you want. I don't personally think that is a good way of going about things, and I have Taurus rising. I think that we have to be flexible, and we have to kind of like keep our eyes open and see what is going on. When you're trying to pursue something, or maybe it's someone, and you just keep going and going, and the other person or events are kind of conspired to not give you what you want, and you don't take heed of that, and you just keep pushing ahead. Yeah, I mean, of course, sometimes people do that, and then they talk about it later and say, I never gave up, and that's why I'm so successful now. But sometimes I feel like the person is just not listening enough, and they are trying to make something happen without having that ability to kind of be passive. And I think that's kind of like the Seven of Pentacles in a sense. The farmer is very active, but while that crop is growing, the farmer has to allow it to grow. That doesn't mean it can't prune the weeds or anything, but it has to allow, the art of allowing is part of law of attraction, not just I'm going to just make this happen. So maybe some of you are in a relationship and you're ready for the next level, and yet either you have reservations or that other person does. And if you have reservations, then that's a different story, because you may be like, that's okay to have reservations. I think it's really important to pay attention to how you feel when you're dealing with someone. And if something doesn't feel right, then you know that you have to kind of really think long and hard before continuing with that thing, because the consequences could be quite severe, and you don't want to be in that situation where you're just see things as they really are. So the other thing too is, if you have started a business and you have not turned a profit yet, you need to ask yourself if you're being impatient. Taurus is always known for having patience, but you might be a 1 degree Taurus and you're on the cusp with Aries. You might have Mars in Aries and you tend to be very impatient, or square from the sun to Mars, or some hard angle from the moon to Mars, or a conjunction, and you just are very impatient, or emotionally, you just want to make something happen. And it's way better to be much more laid back and than to have a sense of urgency, because things will unfold in their own time. And as long as you're watering your plants and you're not just neglecting them, perhaps you have unrealistic expectations based on what you assume to be true, that is not necessarily true for you. Like, so if you have started a small business or something and somebody else gave you the idea to do so and they started getting sales right away and you're comparing yourself to them, you can't. There's not, even in the same genre, there are different times for everyone to start to make things happen. The same thing happened to me when I started on YouTube. I didn't just like come out of the box roaring. As a matter of fact, it was the opposite of that. And I almost threw in the towel right before I got my first client. And, it was an amazing feeling because I really did not, I was so used to not having anything that when it started to happen, and then right after that, then it just started to happen regularly. So there's got to be something more. It can't just be in terms of statistics. There's something that transcends statistics, because if that were the case, I would have gotten it long before I did. And people, assume certain things because they're saying, oh, well, I'm getting thousands of views or something like that. Well, believe me, you can get thousands of views and not get a sale. And you might just get like 100 views and get more than it doesn't, there's other factors at work. And isn't that great? Because that means that we never have to be defined by quantity. That, oh gosh, I'm just going to, the more people that I get and all of that, the more I will have. No, you don't need that to achieve that. The higher message is the Seven of Swords. Now, if this is a relationship that you're kind of pondering and you're wondering, am I putting in time in this relationship? And that, when I say relationship, I mean any connection that you have with any love connection you have with another person. Maybe this is for that next level of relationship. And what that can mean is that the person is basically, maybe not on a conscious level do you really understand what is happening, but you sense that something isn't right. Because the Seven of Swords can be this situation where the relationship, where that person could be doing something sketchy behind the scenes. And maybe you sense that. So we have two sevens here on both sides. Number 7 is an intuitive number. So to me, it implies that the part of yourself that is beyond the rational mind could be activated. And this is where this idea of understanding comes in, because if we're just like focused on what's beneath our nose, we're going to miss all kinds of things, and we may stay in a relationship with somebody who is not committed, okay? And if you are, the Empress, maybe the Empress is pregnant, and she's like, okay, I'm waiting for this man to get it together, but it doesn't look like he's getting it together, and I'm pregnant, and oh my God, what am I going to do? And it's like, another thing that the Seven of Swords can represent is going it alone. So not like announcing to everyone, okay, I'm leaving so-and-so because this person is like untrustworthy, they've been cheating. Like sometimes it could be advisable not to like broadcast your plans and kind of keep your own counsel. So that could also be what it is. But now that I think about it, I'm looking at those 3 cards at the bottom, and they're all like about something ending, leaving, moving. Isn't that funny? The first one that, I read as a challenge card is the Six of Swords, but this is a card of choosing peace. If I read it as an upright card, but I'm reading it as a challenging card. So it could be refusal to leave a situation that is not harmonious. Why would somebody do that? Well, and this doesn't have to be just like romantic. This could be a work situation. A fear, a need for security is, of course, something that always can happen. And the sense of familiarity with the situation, the devil you know versus the devil you don't know. There are so many possibilities, but what the bottom line is that you have to be the kind of person who is able to leave that situation in a way that is not like burning bridges necessarily. But some people don't think that they can do that. They think either they have to just like have this meltdown and read that person the riot act, or they have to be like a doormat. And there's a happy medium where you can leave, but you can also leave on a good note. But you may be like, I don't want to leave. I can't leave, or that would be really something I don't feel comfortable doing. And of course, that's everybody has the right to decide what they want to do. But in this particular position, it's showing it as some kind of a blockage. What's coming in is represented by the Eight of Cups, leaving what no longer serves you. So it's almost like a spiritual kind of a thing where you're not feeling fulfilled and you must leave. This can be like, if this is a work-related thing, the Empress could be like you coming out as an artist and being like, I spent enough time doing something that was not really me, and now I am going to fulfill my dreams, fulfill my destiny, because your heart is really demanding it. And same thing with relationships. The outcome is a Death card. This is a card connected to Scorpio. And this might even be a timing card because of that lunar eclipse on May 5th in Scorpio. However, remember that with eclipses, it might not be on that exact date when you see the impact of your life changing in that area. Also, remember that with a lunar eclipse, this is a full moon, which means that the sun is in opposition. So the sun is in Taurus at that time. And I believe that Uranus is involved there. Again, I don't know what degree Uranus is, but the eclipse is at 14 degrees. So I'm pretty sure that Uranus is around that degree. And I think it is going to be part of that. And if so, that can indicate that a person is able to break free of that thing very suddenly and without that attachment. And that is a great thing, because it gets messy sometimes when you're trying to break up with someone or you're trying to let go of something and you feel that pull, almost like an addiction or something. Okay, so I'm going to pick a Star Codes Astro card it's an oracle card. Oh, these are new, so they kind of are hard to... Oh, cool. I got the sun, and well, obviously not right now, but in the month of April, the sun will be in your sign. You're going to have your solar return. And I actually will very much likely be doing a second tarot reading for the last half of the month. And the sun will be going into your sign then. And it says here source. So what I imagine that they mean by that is that the sun is the end all be all in a lot of ways. And I just picked the moon for Aries, so I find that very interesting. And the with this reading, like in the tarot, because this is not a tarot card, this is an oracle card that's associated with astrology. But in the tarot card, one of the key words of the sun is creativity. And the Empress, it's right below the Empress. And the Empress is in part about creativity. And so that is tapping into your essence, at least in this lifetime. And that's what creative self-expression is. It's self, the self. It's not about, copying somebody else. Even if you are a good copy, it's really about, shining your own light, because we need these individual perspectives. That's what makes life what it is. So, whatever it is, whatever all of this means to you, Taurus, it all comes back to the self. So even with relationships, the ability to be in a relationship where you are seen by that person, where they really respect who you are, they love who you are. You know you're with the right person when the things that are your weaknesses are cute to that person. And that is important because it allows you to understand that you are lovable in spite of all these things. A lot of people have that self-loathing because they think that they're the things that they need to improve upon. They think that they are so bad that nobody could possibly accept them. And we've been programmed, to reject ourselves. So this is about coming back to yourself. And that's isn't it ironic that the death card is right next to it? Because sometimes you have to let go of something in order to come back alive. Maybe you've been kind of living a life of quiet desperation, and this is the time to kind of tap into your essence. All right, Taurus, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I have astrology readings. I have a private tarot reading as well. I have some specials, double readings. You can find out more information at the link below. Take care. Bye.